Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. No, I am not giving this spell an S. I am actually going to give it a B minus. Although I think that it is still a pretty good spell, and I'm going to give my reasons why. So it is time for another installment of the Doctor Spell Prognosis, and we are talking about the first level spell, Sleep. It is a first level spell that is usable by bards, sorcerers, wizards, the Twilight Domain cleric, the Oath of Redemption paladin, and the Archfey warlock. So a whole bunch of classes can use this spell. In addition, it's an enchantment school spell, which means magic initiate and Fey touched can also use it too. So there are a whole bunch of ways to get this spell. Now, this is probably powered for first level, and it can be powered higher. So it is a first level spell. It has an action. It takes one action to use it. It has a range of 90 feet, which is great. It has a 20-foot radius, which is great. It's verbal, somatic, and material. So you got to have your hands, your mouth, and some components. It has a duration of 1 minute, which is great, with no concentration, which is great. And there's no saving throw, but there's a caveat to that. So you roll 5d8. Now, what I want everybody to remember about this, and I'm going to write something in the little box here. We're going to write something in the little box here. 4.5 average on a D8. So I want everybody to understand this very, very interesting and important statistic. When you roll a D8, the average you're going to get is a 4.5. Not a 4, a 4.5. So you roll 5 of those, which means that you're going to be getting 23.5 as the average. So 9 and 9 is 18, plus another 4.5 is 23.5. So 23.5 hit points is what you're getting off 5d8. And so that's the total number of hit points you can affect with the spell. Creatures within 20 feet of the point you choose within range are affected in ascending order of their hit points, which means the lowest ones go down first. Now, for first-level characters and low-level adventurers, this is great. It's not great later on when you have creatures that have, 100, 200 hit points. So it says you start with the creature with the lowest number of hit points. Each creature affected by the spell immediately falls unconscious. No saving throw until the spell ends. The sleeper... or until the sleeper takes damage, or until someone uses an action to shake or slap them awake. Subtract each creature's hit points from the total before moving on to the next creature with the next lowest hit points. A creature's hit points must be equal to or less than the remaining total for that creature to be affected. Undead and creatures immune to being charmed are not affected by this spell. So that's an important caveat too. Now you can bump this spell up. So for each level, second level or higher, you add another 2d8, which is another 9. So if you were to cast this at second level, it would be 32 hit points. If you were to cast this at third level, it would be 41. If you were to cast this at fifth level, it would be 50, and so on and so forth. So you have to understand that statistic of the average, the law of averages of what you're going to be able to get. Now, if you wound a creature and bring its hit points down, this can end a combat very quickly. Very, very quickly. If you use it on a flying creature, then it's going to fall, obviously, and it'll take damage from the fall, but then it'll wake up right away. Now, it's important to understand this, this condition, unconscious. So, it's incapacitated. It can't move, it can't speak, and it's unaware of its surroundings. It drops whatever it's holding and it falls prone. It automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Everybody has advantage against it, unless you're using ranged attacks because it's prone. And any attack that hits the creature is a critical attack if the attacker is within 5 feet. So that is pretty massive. The best way to use this is to kind of gauge when the creature is going to be below a certain threshold, and then plunk it out, and make them go unconscious, and then everybody readies actions to go up and just wail on the opponent. And this is good against one creature. So you can really take something out of combat with this still, even if you cast this as a 9th level spell. If we look at some creatures, we just look at some monsters here that let's look at challenge rating 11 monsters. Oh, I got to do challenge rating 11 to 11. Let's do 11 to 11. Just 11. So we've got, say, a Behair. A Behair is not immune to Charm, and it's got 168 hit points. But if you get this thing down to 50 hit points, then you're going to be able to plunk a sleep on it, and you'll probably put it to sleep, and then everybody will go after it. So when it's got 30% of its hit points, you could end the combat early. And this thing's a pretty powerful monster. So let's look at what else do we got here that's 11? Draco Hydra. Again, not immune to Charm, and it's got 218 hit points. So what you should be aiming for is probably 50 or 60 hit points, and then just dropping it. And so that actually makes this spell quite useful. In that instance, where you could probably shave off a couple of rounds at the end of the combat and save the party a lot of resources. But just by itself, on its own merits, it's not the greatest spell in the world. And it does lose its utility later on if you just try and launch it in the first round. This is a spell you kind of want to keep in reserve, and you would upcast it, and then you would do it later on in the combat. All right, that's what I got for everybody today. I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will catch everybody later.